Greetings, I am Frank McDonald, Instructional Officer for Secondary Science, and welcome back to video number 4 of our 5-video series for pooling and prepping data for grouping mats. We have already learned how to access Eduphoria and the Student Learning Standard report. We have edited our reports and exported them to Excel, and then we've taken that Excel spreadsheet and turned it into a table. So now we are going to take the next step and we are going to add color just to get a little bit of pop. Now, I'm going to kind of forewarn you, there may be other ways of doing this stuff because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and this is the way I know how to skin a cat. You may have a different way of skinning cats, so just kind of keep that in mind. So let's get started. I am going to open up our spreadsheet that we have. This is the same spreadsheet that we've been working with the whole time. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to, this has kind of already happened. I'm copying and pasting from another spreadsheet. But I am going to include, just because I forget, these are the numbers, the passing standards that are for 6th grade math that are available through Lead Forward. So Masters is anything above a 79. Meets runs from a 61 to a 78. Approaches goes from a 37 to a 60. And did not approach is anything below 37. So we are going to use this color coding, and this color coding comes from the predictive model that we use as testing time nears. So we're going to follow with that idea. So here's what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do, I have my student data here, and I am going to highlight all the numbers, all the data. So I highlight all those things here. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to use this conditional formatting. So again, there are many ways to do this. This is the way I know how. There's potentially easier ways to do this, but at this point in my life, I don't know what they are. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on more rules. So under more rules, what I have here is select a rule. And format only cells that contain, so we're looking for cells that only contain this, and we're looking at the cell value. And I am going to click on greater than or equal to. So I have this drop down, I'm going to say greater than or equal to, and I'm going to include what number am I looking for. So based on the number that we have, Masters is 79 or higher, actually, 79 or higher. Is that correct? That is correct. So I'm going to put the percentage, 79%. You got to include that percent or else it won't recognize that. And I'm just going to check. I'm checking 79, 79. And then I'm going to click here on format. And I'm going to click on fill. So once I click on fill, it's going to give me my colors. So here is the orange color that I am looking for. I'm going to include this color. And then I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click on OK, and now it's been set, and I click on OK, and now when I go back to my screen, I can see everything that was above 79 has now been colored. All my data is still highlighted, so I'm going to go back to conditional formatting, and I'm going to go down to manage. I'm going back down to highlight cell rules and click on more rules, and this time I'm going to say it's numbers that are between. So in this case, I am looking in between the meets number, which is 61%, and it goes all the way up to one number below Masters, which is 78. So I'm going to go from 61 to 78. I'm going to format it, and our meets color is going to be green. So I'm going to click on the green, and I'm going to click OK. And now you can see the areas that got filled in as green. I'm going to go back in there, highlight cell rules, new rules, and this time I'm going to go between again. And it gives us our two spots. So in this case, we're going to go from 37%. 37%, and up to 60%. And this is going to be our approaches. I'm going to format here, and I'm going to click there, and there's our approaches. And one more time, I'm going to go into here and go anything equal to, less than, or equal to, and this time our number is going to be 37%, and we will click OK. Oh, forgot to do one part. Forgot to add the color, so I'm going to try that again. Less than or equal to 37%, format, red, OK, OK. And there we have it. Now all our numbers are color-coded. All our data is color-coded. Here are some of the bonuses for this color coding. If we go back to our table now, we can filter by color. So if we just want to look at the orange stuff, we can look at the orange stuff for this particular area. If you have something filtered, and this is just a reminder, this filter, or this kind of a Y or an upside down Erlenmeyer flask, maybe that's my science coming out, this is indicating that there is a filter there. So that means something has been clicked or unclicked. So if you lose some of your data or you think you're missing something, you may want to check. Another good way to check is to look at your numbers. See how my numbers are not sequential and I have these thicker lines? That means I have filtered something here, and potentially I may I may not have colored everything I wanted to color. Oh, I did. So there you go. Now you can see the numbers are in sequential order. There's nothing skipped. That means nothing has been filtered. So I can go SC by SC if I've identified my lowest SCs, and I can say I can go from highest to smallest now. I can see all my kids that are in the mastery range, and I can highlight those kids, and I know exactly who those kids are. If I am, as a teacher, I can filter out myself, or as a Sky Coach, if you're looking at a particular teacher, you can look at their students and you can kind of see where everybody is for a particular area. So here is another 6-3D. Now you can see the kids that have mastered, the kids that are approaching, and the kids that are meeting, and you have these groups that have already been pre-established, and you can see which groups you are dealing with, and then specifically which content you're dealing with as far as 6-3D. Now keep in mind, as we look at this stuff, this is only the outermost layer of this onion, as I was talking with my colleagues earlier. We do want to be able to go in and look at the specific questions on how these questions were asked. So if we look at these two kids, we know that they have a mastery of the content at 6.3D. But if we look at these kids here, how many kids are here? If I highlight them, it shows me down here. I've got 5 kids here. They got, it looks like there was only 2 questions pertaining to this content, or maybe an even number. Well, these kids got half of them right. Well, we want to look at the ones that they got right, and more importantly, we want to look at the ones that they got wrong to see how this SC was being asked in these 2 different questions. So ensuring that, number 1, we have covered the content completely for that SC, and number 2, that we've covered it in a way that it is being tested. So this will help us avoid the idea of, well, I didn't teach it that way concept. So as now, if we're looking at 9 weeks assessments, this makes it a little bit easier to go through, and you can spiral things back in later on as we figure out, hey, maybe I need to show the kids another way of covering this content. Here's a big one, a big indicator. Now you have, in this case, you have 6 kids out of this class that only got half of those questions right for 6-3E. So this is kind of an indicator of that. So again, looking at the data at this way, at this angle, is just we haven't gotten it down to the kid and the question. So there is a little more room for growth here. But that's it. So this is the color coding. Now it's very easy to see what our numbers are, what it jumps out as. The next video, I'm going to show you how to actually pull the data, pull the kids, and place them into our grouping mats. So stay tuned. Come back for that. Bye.